we are at the traffic circle connecting Fairmount, 9 Mile Road, and 25th in the East End. It's a lower income community with a lot of negative health outcomes. Just by being born in this neighborhood, your life expectancy is 10 years shorter than if you're born in the West End. That's due to diabetes, access to health care, access to fresh foods. This area has been a food desert for decades.
The grocery store behind us was called Fat Duck's Grocery. As you can see, it's a house. This was my go-to spot for my snacks. I would go and get my pork grinds and my Code Red Mountain Dew. Everywhere in my neighborhood, there were 4 or 5 corner stores on each block, and everyone served the exact same items: fried processed food, snacks, tobacco, alcohol, so forth and so on. They promoted unhealthy lifestyles.
Living in the East End, there was a young man actually that lived in the block, very young, around 10 years old, that would come to my house every other day for food. He was always knocking, said, "Do you have any food available for my sisters and I?" I realized that was really a reflective of a greater challenge that was in our community. And I promised myself if I ever got an opportunity to do something about it, that I would.
Historically, this site was residential. There were some smaller shops, an auto shop, a paint shop, primarily residential though. About 15 years ago, the housing authority started assembling land with the intention of redeveloping the site.
That site sat empty for quite some time. In 2010, there was a community-wide charrette conversation, hearing from residents, what is it that we want to see? What do we need? The community was very vocal and very clear. Full-service grocery store, quality, affordable housing. We want great schools and jobs throughout the community.
Well, I got involved with the process because I just wanted to make sure that this was actually an endeavor for the community, that this initiative was for the families who have been deprived for so many years, healthy food choices and healthy lifestyles. And in a sense, just make sure that the lifestyle and the culture of the current community is being addressed and fed, as well as the new lifestyle and culture of the community which is transitioning in.
As part of any construction or redevelopment project, you need to do your due diligence to see if there's any contaminants in the ground that need to be remediated. For this project, the first money in was EPA funds to assess the site. This project is one of roughly 20 or so that we've used the current EPA grants for throughout the city, but this one has the potential to be the most impactful in a community that needs it the most.
When we decide to fund brownfields, we look for a community that has a vision, that has a plan, and it's excited about redevelopment. We look for projects where there are partners in play.
We were able to find an extraordinary developer who said, we see that vision.
About 3 years ago, my wife and I mutually agreed that we wanted to see if we could find something that we could do to deal with poverty in Richmond's East End. Probably the single greatest need that the community continually talked about was, it's a food desert. We need a grocery store with fresh fruits and vegetables. It kind of speaks to the health issues of the community. And so we took it upon ourselves to, let's make that happen.
This is a community store. This is something that really needs to fit into the community. It needs to be part of the community. Our role is to serve the community.
Collard greens and squash and all that good stuff.
The goal is to hire local from the area. We're going to provide them professional development training. So before they even start in the store, we're going to give them the skills to be successful. We're looking for minority African-owned businesses to display their product in the store, to sell their product in the store, to provide services in the store, to give them the opportunity that nobody's doing. That's how I met Chantel, our pharmacist. She had this vision to own her own pharmacy. And she's going to be the second African-American female to own and operate her own pharmacy in the state of Virginia.
My family grew up here in Churchill. My church is cat-a-corner to the store. My career started right behind us here with Dr. Leonard Edlow. So It was full circle for me. Hope Pharmacy, it's an acronym for helping others physically prosper every day. It's not just for me, but it's for our children. It's for the future. It's for all those who dream.
So, hey, raise your hand if y'all want some good fruits in this grocery store. What type of fruit you gonna get? Mango. Ooh, fancy. Go ahead. Grapes.
The Richmond Heritage Federal Credit Union, founded by 10 African American teachers. They're going to have a presence in the store. I got a flower guy, Braun. He's going to have his own section of flowers in the store. And they're all people from the community. People identify with them. It's just going to resonate throughout the whole store.
We have the opportunity to have better food choices, a large variety, not limiting yourself to just those processed meal items, such as your nuggets, your bolognas, things of that nature. Also, it's going to bring opportunity for learning different things.
Fresh, healthy produce is generally fairly expensive, as is fresh fish or fresh meat. So we're going to have low prices for those individuals who can't afford to pay for the higher price for produce. At the same time, though, every day we'll be showing people how to prepare healthy, eat healthy.
One of the partners that we're going to look to for local grown produce, Shalom Farms. They give you that education piece about the vegetables and things of that nature. For instance, I've heard them promote cilantro as a healthy alternative to Tabasco hot sauce. So those are the type of ideas that we want to begin to promote.
The original mission was to build a grocery store, but it was also to become more engaged in the community. And when the community said they wanted a grocery store, what they really meant was we want a healthy community.
There is substantial research that indicates that only 20% of health is based on clinical care or access to health. And there are myriad other factors in terms of environmental, housing, education that impact health. It's that focus on preventative care, health and wellness, education, care coordination that really can help address those factors long term.
We built a retail strip adjoining the grocery store, and Virginia Commonwealth University is planning on a health and wellness center in a lot of that space.
I think this offers the institution a great opportunity to really step back and think differently on how we engage in communities, much more collaboratively, and that we are not working at communities but with and side by side, and that learning happens both ways. That changes the dynamic for the educational experience for our students, both graduate and undergraduate, in terms of preparing them to be civically engaged citizens.
There are 42 apartments on the top of the grocery store, which will also bring people to the community. And on the adjoining block, the Reynolds Community College will be opening a 27,000 square foot culinary arts school.
In the last 7 or 8 years, we've really become a food town. Reynolds Community College has had a culinary training program for over 25 years. Our kitchen is on our downtown campus, and there's only one kitchen, so it limits the number of students that we can serve. We needed to expand, and a third of our current culinary students actually live in and around the Churchill neighborhood, and we were delighted to be invited to be a part of this development. We'll have 3 teaching kitchens and a demonstration kitchen. Our chef intends to invite the neighborhood in for tastings, for opportunities to see our students in action. And we're really excited about the presence that we'll be able to have in this community.
I'm excited about what's happening, to see a vision, what you've envisioned is coming to finally to fruition. That's all great.
This whole project goes a long ways towards helping alleviate some of the social justice issues. From the city's perspective, it's a no-brainer.
This project is exactly what EPA is looking for. The intended purpose of the EPA Brownfields grant is to come into a community with small seed money and try to reignite life. In this particular neighborhood, the stars were aligned, and I think it's going to be quite a great success story.
This isn't just investing in business or in food, but it's investing in community. There has been a need here in Churchill for decades. I'm excited to see residents in Churchill gain a true sense of community, not a community that's divided based upon streets or based upon neighborhoods, but a community that all comes together for nourishment, for growth, for development. And I think that this is exactly what this initiative is all about.